Adoption of agenda. It's recommended that the agenda of the November 13th, 2025 regular meeting of the Board of School Trustees be approved as presented.
Motion.
Second?
All in favor? Approval of minutes. Recommended that the minutes of the October 9th, 2025 regular meeting of the Board of School Trustees be approved as presented.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor? Statements, questions from the public. First up to speak is Naomi Banks. I'll remind you, we can't use names. You got 3 minutes, and then we won't respond to you right at this time.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
I wanted to discuss the parent and spectator code of conduct that was sent out. It requires parent signature for your student to be able to participate in sports. I understand that it is not currently being enforced, but from my understanding, the Civility Expectations Policy 531, which is on your agenda tonight, is being proposed to enforce this spectator contract. Due process is the right under the 14th Amendment, which requires clear written rules and consistent enforcement. The Parent and Spectator Code of Conduct states all parents and guardians of student athletes must sign it. The Parent and Spectator Code of Conduct itself repeatedly refers to parents and spectators. Enforcement provisions would apply to everyone attending the event, but they're only making the parents sign it, which is unequal enforcement, policy misrepresentation, potentially a procedural due process violation under the 14th Amendment. The school cannot write a policy that says everyone must follow it and not enforce that. It also cannot require parents to waive their constitutional rights, accept unequal treatment, accept selective enforcement of policies, sign a document under coercion that states that my child cannot participate in athletics if I do not sign it. Requiring this is a potentially red flag, is legally a red flag, because being required to sign this would mean that I would have to accept unequal treatment. So I ask that you consider that as you look at Policy 531 and possibly review the spectator and parent code of conduct.
I can tell you this, we've already tweaked that to where we're not going to require signatures. Kristen Allen.
And I'm talking about the same thing, that 4-page document we got last week. And I talked to Josh, obviously, we went back and forth a little bit discussing it. And I understand there will be signatures required, but I do have a question, which I know you guys may not answer, but we can follow up, I guess, by email or phone call. If you're still gonna pass these out for every sport, are we gonna do that, this code of conduct?
That's going to be the plan, yes.
Okay, just not signing it, it's just gonna say, these are the
Correct.
rules, this is what's expected, which that's totally fine. And that was my concern, was it says in there, this is conditional on my child playing, and so that's why I got the bad feeling, like this doesn't seem right. So so that was my concern. And then is it gonna be word for word, or are you gonna make amendments to what's here also? I mean, obviously the signature will go away.
Yeah, I don't know which one you have, but there's
So-
been amendments to it, a couple of
So
them.
will we, yeah, okay. So if I have suggestions, should I just email you guys?
Sure.
Or,
Yeah, just
on
email
ways
us.
that I think, because I told Josh, I said, you know, if there were just a few changes, I wouldn't mind having to sign, if that was the thing. So there were just a few things, I didn't like the language that was used, and so just kind of, like you said, tweaking it. So that was my main thing. And then, you know, I don't know where it came from, I never got an answer on that, who created it. So I don't know if that's an issue there, because I told Josh, like I said, seems like there's an internal issue within the school. So, which I know that's your guys' deal, it's personnel, you can deal with that. So I just hope it's dealt with, and you know, something like this doesn't come out. And because a lot of people didn't read it, but you know me, I'm gonna read it. So a lot of people just said, I just signed it, my kids said I need to sign it, so they signed it. And some parents are told their kid's not gonna play tonight because if they don't sign it. So that was a problem also. So just so you're aware, I just hope whoever was saying those things, that's also corrected too.
Yeah.
And then, you know, if we can get it changed. And like I said, I'm not gonna violate it. I never do. We're here at a lot of sports, so we enjoy it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think I'm safe to say that we have made amendments to that. We're not making anybody sign it. We're not gonna keep anybody's kids from not playing because we're not requiring a signature, so
Thank you.
hopefully we'll get it to where everybody's satisfied with it. It's just a common sense thing, right?
Well, yeah.
Be respectful of
Right.
sporting events.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, on to administrative recommendations. It is recommended that the prepaid in October claims number 103,885 through 104,061 be approved as presented.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? On to personnel. It is recommended that the resignation from Henry Schmidt be approved.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? It is recommended that the resignation from John Doolin be approved.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? It's recommended that the resignation from Ashton Steinbrenner as varsity volleyball head coach be approved.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Recommended that Elena Shaw be hired as a bus driver for Southeast Fountain School Corporation.
Motion.
Second.
Tyler? All in favor?
Sorry.
No,
Sorry.
It is recommended that Evelyn Whitaker be hired as a bus driver for Southeast Fountain School Corporation.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? It's recommended that the contract extension, which includes automatic rollover for the superintendent of Southeast Fountain School Corporation, be approved.
I just want to say that for 2 years in a row, I have refused to take any raise, anything like that, and that's why they're just doing the rollover, because nothing is changing in the contract, so that's why all we have to do is approve it.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? There are no quotes this month. So other business, it's recommended that policy 426, teacher appreciation grant, be approved as presented.
We had the first reading last month. The only changes in the teacher appreciation grant are being recommended because Indiana law changed about how the teacher appreciation grant works. So everything that's no longer part of the law is being taken out, and what the law now states is being added in for the changes so that we're in compliance with the legal statute.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? It's recommended that the after-prom committee fundraiser request be approved.
All right, the After Prom would like to begin selling greenery from Evergreen Industries. Their goal is to raise $1,500 for the Fountain Central After Prom event.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? It's recommended that the SEFE fifth grade fundraiser request be approved.
The fifth grade is requesting to sell rolls, butter, and gift cards from Texas Roadhouse in November and December. This is an annual fundraiser. Their goal is to raise $1,000 to help pay for fifth grade field trips.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? It is recommended that the 2025 December school board meeting be moved from December 11th, 2025 to December 18th, 2025.
We have a conflict. The December 11th is also the Southeast Fountain Elementary Winter Program. And so we want people to be able to be at the program. And we're just going to, with your permission, move our meeting back a week.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? It is recommended that the 2026 school board meeting dates are approved.
This includes the regular meeting that we have, such as we're here for January through December, as well as the discussion meetings that we have the week prior to it. So they're all the public meetings that we hold each month.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? It's recommended that the donation from the Southeast Fountain Elementary School PTO be recognized and approved.
We are appreciative that the elementary school PTO has donated $1,120 for the kindergarten trip for Disney on Ice. Is that where they're going to, believe? And so
Bless you.
Bless you.
I'd like your approval and to acknowledge the PTO for all the ways they support our school district and this building.
Motion.
You're good. Second.
All in favor? Thank you to the PTO for support. Okay, we're on to the spotlight. So tonight we have the Fountain Central FFA chapter.
Absolutely.
I just feel like I wanna be in the way.
Jesse says I got it.
All right, so thank you guys for having us tonight. We're super excited to be here. These are our officers here. Just a little introduction of them. Jesse is our chapter president. Our vice president is Katie LeBrant. Wyatt Ayers is our chapter secretary. Paul Adams is our chapter treasurer. Aubrey is our reporter. Chloe's our student advisor. Allie Dotson's our sentinel. And then I'm Claire Davis, our ag teacher and FFA advisor. So just some numbers for you guys so you can kind of get an idea of what our chapter is doing this year. This year we've got 46 dues paying members, so that's a bump up from previous years, even last year. We had 18 students complete summer SAEs, which we'll tell you guys a little bit more about here in a minute. We're active in over 15 different career and leadership development events, which are different contests that we do, which we'll have some of our students tell you about. And then we've got 5 different ag classes that our students can take that can get them involved in agriculture. So a little bit about our ag education program. Ag Ed is visualized as a 3-circle model that includes FFA as an intracurricular part of it, as well as SAEs and then classroom instruction. So when we have our intro classes all the way to advanced animal and plant science. So to give everybody a well-rounded ag education, it's best to have them involved in FFA as well.
So SAEs are a supervised agricultural experience, and they're helpful for students to figure out like what career they could potentially want to be in when they're older, or learn new skills that they can use in the future also. And once a student has completed a SAE, they can apply for a proficiency application, which is where they compete with their SAE, and they can win different awards and scholarships for that.
So a couple SAEs that we have done at Fountain Central. Emily Terry did what's called an ag placement, diversified ag placement. She worked in a hay operation and learned everything behind that and was able to report the numbers behind that hay operation. I myself, I did a poultry production, which was an entrepreneurship. I ran a hatchery business and ended up getting over 400 chickens. This is the first time I've ever done this. And it's neat to see what it takes to run a business, that entrepreneurship, and SAEs are really good at that. And we have a couple other SAEs we've done.
I did the goat production entrepreneurship, and I learned about like breeding and like kidding and like how to work like a market doe this year, because it was my first year doing a market doe. And that picture is me showing at State Fair, so I got to learn all about that because my first year showing at State Fair this year. And I feed and clean them most days. Well, I feed every day, but
I did entrepreneurship, and my family raises cattle. We have about 20 head, but I personally have a herd of 5. And I also show cattle, and I'll clean their pen, feed them, water them. And then when I'm done, if I've showed a steer, I'll sell it for market. And I also sell some of the calves we've raised. This really helps me like budget and stuff, because my plan is to take over the farm with my relatives. So that's handy.
Career and leadership development events. Some CDEs our FFA members do are livestock judging, crops and forestry, livestock skill-a-thon, welding, and soils judging. We have quite a few members that do soil judging. They're pretty good at it. They really are. I'm a personal member of the crops contest. I really enjoy that. And Chloe is also a part of our crops contest. So some LDEs are public speaking, demonstrations, and parliamentary procedure. All your FFA officers in front of you do parliamentary procedure. We've done really well with that in the past. Me and Paul have done demonstrations. We did a livestock demonstration last year. We were all right. Can't say we were the best. And then Jesse does public speaking, and he is very, very good at that.
We recently ventured to our 98th FFA convention. We took 24 members, I believe, to Indianapolis in a total of 2 different trips. We made up there. Dr. Grimes and Mr. Shaby ended up meeting us there one day and got to have that experience of national convention. Over 70,000 FFA members attend national convention each year, and we're very blessed to be right here, just an hour from Indianapolis, and it's easy to make that journey. When we had some younger members who this is their first year going. They were excited to meet people from all across the country. They were Puerto Rico, Hawaii, Alaska, from all over the country, come here to Indianapolis. We got to do different workshops, and there was a college and career fair for all the members to interact with potential career employers or colleges they didn't know existed that they might want to go to now. And then Katie LeBrant, Miss Davis, myself were on a panel with Dr. Grimes and Mr. Shaby. We got to talk to administrators from all across the nation about the importance of agricultural education and what FFA has done for our school. And that was awesome, and we overall had a very, very successful national convention. In January, I went to Miss Davis telling her I'd like to run for District 4 president, which that entails a lot. Her being a second-year teacher, it's a very difficult job, and what that entails is I did get elected to District 4 president, and within our district, it contains all the schools within Fountain, Montgomery, Tippecanoe, Warren, Benton, and Boone County. And so Miss Davis is the advisor of all the FFA programs within our district, and we're in charge of running all those events and competitions. Recently, we had our District 4 kickoff. Our District 4 officer team from all over the district came here, and we had it at Fountain Central at our high school in our gym, both our gyms and our cafeteria. It was amazing, and a lot of people were impressed. They thought having it in Fountain Central was the first time it's ever been there. People loved how easy it was to transfer and how much space we had to get around and move. So people loved that it was here. It was really awesome for Fountain Central, I think, to get to do this. And then upcoming in April, we'll host all the district LDEs and a couple of CDEs that'll be at the high school as well. And so all competing members from across the district in our 6 counties will come to Fountain Central, compete, we'll put on the contest. So kudos to Miss Davis, she does a lot. It stacks onto that job. At our district kickoff, we had over 160 kids, and at our district contest in April, we're expected to have way more than that. So it's a neat opportunity for us.
Over the summer, Jesse, Katie, Colt, and I, we went to state convention. This year, me and Katie served as our chapter delegates, and we got to vote on a few things, which was really fun, and it gave us an opportunity to have that communication skills with all these other members. And we also sponsored our Fountain County Fair this summer.
Some community involvement that we are partake in. Ag and Safety Day that we host at the Fountain County Fairgrounds. We participate with that. We help elementary students from all over the county learn about anywhere from agricultural safety on and off the farm to things just like the weather and everyday stuff that they will need. We do Feed the Farmers. This year we delivered over 150 meals all around the county and out of the county. We do 5th grade bingo, plant sale. We helped with the fish fry at the Fountain County Fair this year. We host the Teacher Appreciation Breakfast here at the high school and the County Fair Cornhole Tournament, which was our first time hosting it this summer.
Who won it?
Me and Asher Davis.
Congratulations.
Thank you folks very much.
Yeah, thank you guys for having us. If you have any questions for these guys, I'm sure they'd be happy to answer and tell you more about their experiences. But thank you for having us.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Very good presentation. All right. Let's go on to the Southeast Fountain Elementary School update.
There's one there for each of you. This is a quarterly report that we supply our staff, and it just kind of gives a breakdown of various logistical pieces from the school in that first quarter of our school year. So at the top there, from August 11th to October 15th, our current enrollment was at 488. That does not include our preschool students, so that's why that number might vary a little than what you see in Harmony. We are really proud that we had over a 96% attendance rate with our students, so it's great to see them at school. You'll also see just referrals there, so whether that's office, to the nurse, or to guidance, just shows how many students are in and out of the doors during that quarterly time. And then you'll also see a breakdown there of those that come to see us, what those bigger categories are so that we can address those better. At the bottom, we do there have our breakdown of math and DIBELS beginning year scores, and so, as the new year rolls over, those thresholds become higher, and so it usually starts a little lower, and then we'll see a huge jump here at mid-year, and then a little bit smaller one again at the end of the year, so we're excited to see those grow. And then on the back, each quarter, Mr. Baines and I get to have a really fun lunch with delegates from every classroom for our Student Advisory Council. So they come to lunch with us, and they give us feedback on various topics. And our first topic of the school year is always school safety, because that's our #1 priority. So you'll see there the questions that we ask them, and then we solicit their feedback just to see how we can do a better job for them. So I think some good highlights, they feel safest in their classrooms with their teachers. They feel like kids know what to do, they know our procedures, they know our safety drills. They gave us some good tips of things maybe we need to practice more that they don't feel their peers know as much. So again, we like to get that from them. We always tell them that their feedback matters, because in fact, that's how we got the fence out the playground, as we had a student say that it'd probably be a really good idea for us to get a fence. I'm like, great, let's do it. So, those things matter to us. So again, you just kind of see a summary of their feedback. So just like I said, a quick snapshot of what we've been up to, and then we'll be able to come back after the second quarter and show some growth in those areas too. Thank you.
I see they're most nervous about the iLearn.
Yeah, they did mention, state testing weighs on their mind for sure, so.
I get it. Thank you, Kate. On to the Fountain Central Junior Senior High School update.
Yeah, Mr. Shaby and I wanted to highlight a couple different things happening recently at the high school. First of all, our Mustang Athletic Council, which if you remember from late April, March from last year, Mr. Good and Mr. Shaby kind of spearhead this idea that, we got from the RHSA that some other schools were doing to get a bunch of our student athletes involved in the school more and to be out in the public eye, and really anything we can do to get kids out doing a positive thing, we want to highlight that, because we do have some amazing kids that are involved in a lot of programs. So one part of that was the Ambassadors program. This took place for the first time the other night at our girls' home opener. So what that is, 2 athletes each game are selected to do that, and what they do is Mr. Good was able to get them some nice shirts. They basically help when the visiting team comes in, they greet them at the door, they meet up with the coach, and basically are that first contact with Fountain Central that they get, and escort them to their locker room, show them where they're supposed to go, and are basically from the time that the visiting team arrives to basically about into the first quarter, they're the visiting coach's point of contact. You know, that they need some different equipment for the sidelines. If there's something that they need to have located, those students are the face of that. And then we also had them read prior to the game a sportsmanship statement, introduce the referees, encourage positive behavior, and introduce the plan of our national anthem. It has really changed, and you can feel the atmosphere of it being more welcoming and student-centered with what happened the other night. And kudos to our girls. We played an excellent game the other night too, and we did that. So our first two athletes that we had were Nolan Acton and Noah Dotson. And then our next two are going to be Eli Foxworthy and Aiden Batchelor, and that's going to be tomorrow night at the girls' home game. So you'll see there'll be a nice long sleeve blue shirts. So then the other highlight we wanted to look at was our Principles of Human Services class. So we have our Career Exploration Internship. This is a prerequisite class for that, which actually includes really exploring different avenues that for our 9th and 10th grade students before they get into that internship program. Mrs. Ashwell, this is her second year in the internship program at the high school, and it's really taken off. Like, she's really done a good job coordinating with other businesses around the area and with Mrs. Foxworthy too, to really give all of our students a positive experience, and there's quite a bit that they have to choose from. She also coordinates a job shadow day. So we have 36 students. This happens twice a year. The first day is going to happen tomorrow. With that, students are responsible for researching different avenues that they want to pursue and potential placements that they could look at for when they enter their junior year. They're guided through the process of reaching out professionally and securing their placements for the day. So already before they even enter the internship itself, they're already getting that public speaking access to it, reaching out, being getting to taste what it's like to be an adult and really go out there and advocate for yourself and to get the placement that you want. So this is a shadow day, it's a full day, and they have to submit a written reflection and pictures from their site, and they also present this to their classmates regarding that placement and experience too. So obviously that reflection piece and everything that we do is really important, so really making them accountable for highlighting what they really enjoyed about it, and again, being 15 years old and have an idea of what I can do really sets you up for success. And again, big thank you to Janelle Ashwell for taking control of that and really pushing that to get that out for us. So we do appreciate that. And that's all we got this time.
Oh, shoot.
She's here.
I
really just came to watch her.
It's a family affair. So it's good. So, you did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, now it's time for the student report.
Winter sports season is underway. Our girls basketball team is off to a fast start and is currently 4-0 on the season. Please come support them tomorrow night here at home as they take on Faith Christian. Our girls wrestling team has completed in 2 events thus far. Last Saturday they traveled south and participated in the Park Heritage Invite. The team placed 6th with podium finishes from Amira Wells, Ruby Deal, Jaden Larkin, and Lydia Perkins. Freshman Riley Deal took 1st place in her weight division in her first competition. On Tuesday, Fountain Central High School hosted its first ever all-girls wrestling meet against South Vermillion. The Mustangs earned the team victory and won all 6 individual matches that took place by pin. The Mustangs are poised for a great season.
FCHS junior Delilah Teal competed in the area spellbook competition last week. Delilah received a perfect score and will be representing Fountain Central in the individual state competition. This is an invitation-only event, and the honor to compete is reserved for students who earn a perfect score. Please also make plans to join us for our fall play opening next Friday, November 21st at 7 p.m. Additional performances include a Saturday evening show at 7 p.m. and a Sunday matinee, another performance on Sunday at 2 p.m. Our drama club will present an adaptation of Treasure Island featuring a talented cast that includes returning performers as well as promising new actors. Finally, FCHS hosted its annual Veterans Day program last Friday. A big thank you goes out to FC Social Studies teacher, Miss Molly Frazee, for organizing this meaningful event. Our band, choir, and all others involved represented our school and community with pride while giving our local veterans the recognition they so greatly deserve. On behalf of our school, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to all who have served. Lastly, Bryson Davis would like me to report that there's a kitchen utensil store in Joplin. He has never thought about taking anything from there before, but he's starting to think it might be worth the whisk.
That's pretty good. All right, discussion items.
First, I would like to ask Josh Davenport to tell us a little bit about the Lease Bond Campus Project update, since he is our Director of Projects.
I'll start with the HVAC. It's ongoing at the high school. They are finished with one wing already, and they have moved to the junior high wing. They're doing 2 rooms at a time, so we do have 2 classrooms displaced throughout the building, and it takes about a week and a half, sometimes 2 weeks to get those rooms done. So just want to say thanks to the teachers. They've been super flexible with those moves, and the students as well. They're doing a really nice job with it. As far as the elementary HVAC goes, they are going to be setting rooftop units over Christmas break. They're going to set up the crane that Friday before break, and then they're hoping to get most of them set. Maybe not all of them hooked up, but we will have heat when we return. Their hope is to have most of that done over break. As far as the pool goes, right now the tile inside the tank is nearly finished. So they're going to be moving to the outside and getting that tile done. I just had a project update meeting with them. Let's see, it would have been Tuesday, and they tell me that water should be in the pool in January, and we can start hosting meets in February. Again, that's just what I'm told. Don't shoot the messenger. And then lastly, as far as the lease bond goes, unless things go completely sideways, it looks as though we will have some money left over for additional projects. So myself, Dr. Grimes, the board, building admin, we've been looking at different projects that we could potentially complete next spring and next summer before the bond runs out. So I think we're in a good spot right now. Thank you, Dr. Grimes.
Thank you. I have 3 policies that I would like to do first readings on. The very first one I want to talk about is a policy we already have, policy 427. But I would like to recommend to the board some revisions. This is a first reading, so we can take public comment or from you throughout the month before we vote on this. But we have 2 of our guidance counselors, Tara Sims and Emily Watson, who have worked for a grant that they have, and they do a lot of work around suicide prevention through that grant and get a lot of professional development. And they came back with some ideas from one of the last sessions they were at and sat down with me, and we looked at our policy and talked about some things that we thought would be helpful for us to tweak. If in the policy itself, currently our policy says when a student is identified by a staff person as potentially suicidal or a student self-refers, then they'll be sent to mental health. We thought we should add in there not just if they're identified by a staff person, but a peer or other individual, because sometimes, depending on the student, they might be more open to share where they're at with a peer or with someone else. It's not necessarily always going to be a staff person. So we still want to take any referral very seriously. And then the other thing, our current policy does not have a response to student suicide attempts of death. And so I'm suggesting that we add a paragraph in there that says that the superintendent or designee will appoint a crisis team, which will be a multidisciplinary team consisting of administration, mental health, and safety professionals, and support staff whose primary focus is to address crisis preparedness, intervention response, and recovery. Members of this crisis team should be professionals who have been specifically trained in crisis preparedness through recovery. This crisis team will take the leadership role in developing crisis plans and ensuring school staff can effectively execute various crisis protocols, may provide mental health services for effective crisis interventions and recovery support. The crisis team will also coordinate with community resources to assist in this process. So basically, what I'm proposing that in the policy, we also create a crisis team that is ongoing each year, and we continue to look at this. We've certainly had tragedies in our community before, and we want to do everything we can to keep those tragedies from happening again. Any questions about the suggested changes in that policy? The next policy, I have numbered it 531 because we ended policy 530. This is a recommended new policy for civility expectations. Unfortunately, across the state, across the country, there have been different experiences of some people not being kind to others during events, and we want to address that and have a policy so that we can be consistent on our expectations. So to create this policy, every Friday I participate in the Indiana Superintendent meeting, a Zoom meeting. So connecting through my superintendent colleagues, I asked any of the districts that already have a civility policy in place if they would be willing to share those with me. And then I poured through all of the district's policies and looked at them. And then that is how I developed this that I'm recommending to you. Ultimately, we're saying that disruptive or uncivil behaviors include, but is not limited to, actions taken or words conveyed with the purpose to intimidate, threaten, or harass, using profanities or obscenities, raising one's voice above an appropriate level, and that doesn't mean cheering for the team, personal attacks, gesturing in a manner that causes one to fear for their safety, invading or remaining in one's personal space after being asked to move away, physically blocking others from moving about freely, or using physical force or threat of physical force, or any action that violates any parent or spectator code of conduct. The idea of this is to promote positive and sportsmanlike behavior, because that's what we want to model. And what we want our district to be known for is our sportsmanship. We get lots of accolades from the IHSAA, and I would like to continue that. If there are any of these, the first step, certainly we would ask someone to please take a minute and chill and be ready to go. If there's a problem, they will be asked to leave the event at that time. If there continues to be problems, then it will get more serious as far as if they can attend events in the future, whether that's a short term or a long term. In serious issues, if need be, law enforcement would be involved. If it's something, for example, if someone had a weapon, something like that, we would definitely involve law enforcement because that's illegal on school grounds. But any of those kind of threats. But the idea is not that we want to find reasons to not let people come. We want everyone to come and support our students, their children, all of our children. And we just want to set some parameters so we can all be there. We can all enjoy the activities and support our kids. Any questions about civility expectations? And then the last policy that would also be a new policy if you approve it is a policy for whistleblower protections. We recently had an audit, a desktop monitoring audit with the Department of Education looking at our federal grants programs and some things like that and some of our policies. and the audit went very well. Really, there was the findings, financial, we were all great. Some different documentation they needed about some of our employees, we were able to submit that to them. And it was more of a not knowing what they were asking for, and they couldn't give us detail until the end. Then when they gave us detail, we were able to submit what they needed. But one of the recommendations in the policy, and it certainly was not a finding, but a recommendation, was that we add a whistleblower protection policy. So as with the civility, that network that I work with, other superintendents around the state, I said, those of you who have them, please share what you have so I can look at that as I craft something to recommend to the board. This policy outlines the reporting requirements, what is considered, when someone does bring something to our attention, because if someone is violating a federal law or regulation, a state law or rule, any ordinance, we certainly want everyone to feel that they're not going to be somehow in trouble because they came and reported something on a colleague or their boss or whomever it may be. So this whistleblower protection that I provided to you, really, the reporter submits a written report to the superintendent or designate at any time. The reported conduct, if it relates to me, then they'll file it directly to the board president. And then the reporter, though, does not have to be certain that they're doing it. It can be a strong suspicion, and then an investigation happens within 30 days, and then we go based on what the misconduct was, then determinations are made. But this just protects the whistleblower, not the person who may have inappropriate conduct. Any questions about this policy? Right, well, as I said, these policies will also be on our website. Anyone can submit comments about that. There's an email link on our website, and those emails come to me, or you can email me through my own email, or the board members' emails are on there. So community members can let us know if you have comments or suggestions or concerns about any of these policies, and that will certainly be taken into consideration before it's up for a vote at our next public board meeting.
All right, thank you, Dr. Grimes.
And next is statements from superintendent. First of all, I like to read when I get acknowledgements of one of our staff employees, either from a colleague, a parent, or anyone. I like to share those. And the first, I have one that I want to share tonight that is from both a parent and a colleague, but I'm passing along a positive from a parent standpoint. Alyssa Larson's communications with parents and students is outstanding. During the first 9 weeks, she reached out to parents to explain her homework expectations and her grading policy. The email was very detailed and easy to understand. As I checked my child's grades, I know where he stands in class and what he can do if he needs to improve his grade because of her communication with us. I've already told Alyssa how impressed I am with her grading policy, and I've even praised her to others. However, I feel like I should also praise her communication, homework expectations, and grading policy to you, her building administrator. I know you hear most of the negatives sometimes, but I want to bring light to something positive. And then the administrator also shared that with me. So thank you, Tiffany Bowling, for recognizing your child's teacher and one of your colleagues. So, next, I would like to give condolences to the family and friends of Darlene Kenny. Darlene Kenny from Hillsborough, Indiana, age 91, passed away peacefully on October 26th. Darlene worked for the Southeast Fountain School District for 40 years in several different capacities. And Cindy was looking at things, and she believes that Darlene was the very first treasurer when the corporation consolidated. She retired from Southeast Fountain June 30th, 1999, but once a Mustang, always a Mustang. You know, we appreciate her years of service to this community and to the school district. So just want to extend our condolences to her family and friends. Next, I would like to thank Mrs. Davis and the FFA students. Most of the students have gone to other things, and most of those students, I just want to say, all that they talked about that they do for FFA, that's not all they do. Those kids are also athletes and musicians and academic bowls and and drama club. I mean, they're just so heavily involved in addition to all the things they were doing there. We just have great kids in this district, and thank you for that wonderful presentation and for all that your students and you are doing. I also want to say thank you. This month we had an evacuation drill where we practiced getting everyone off of campus very quickly, efficiently, safely, and to a safe location. That was mostly coordinated by Mr. Baines and Mr. Wolf, do all of the hard work for getting all of that organized, and along with Mrs. Doherty, coordinating so that we have all of the buses to do that safely. Thank you to the Fountain County Sheriff's Department, who also support that and make sure that we safely get our students there. We hope that, like any drill we have, fire drill, storm drill, or evacuation drill, we hope that we never have to experience those things for real. But this helps us be very, very prepared for what we do. So again, thank you for those who worked behind the scenes to make everything go so well. Afterwards, the leadership team in our meeting talked about any tweaks we want to do for in the future to continue. Safety is a top priority for us, for our students and staff here. And so thank you to all of the leadership team for the work you do every day to support your students and keep them safe.
Thank you, Dr. Grimes. Statements or concerns from the board?
I just want to thank the FFA too. That was a great presentation and just the tip of what you guys do. And I don't know if Jesse's still here. Did he leave? But it is, if you're not involved with FFA, you don't realize what a huge deal it is that we have the district president from our school. As he mentioned, those competitions are going to take place here in April, and we're talking about hundreds and hundreds of kids that will be here, and what a huge undertaking is. But that was that many kids that saw it through, that Jesse was who they wanted to represent them to. So it's a huge deal. Great chapter. Kids did a great job, and congratulations, Claire. You're doing amazing. So thank you very, very much. And thank you to Dr. Grimes and Mr. Shaby for going to sit on that panel, because that's quite an honor and makes me very proud that our school represents so well. So thank you all. And also the Veterans Day program was wonderful, so thank you to anyone that had anything to do with that. It's always a special day.
Yep, I agree. The Veterans Day program here, I think, is top notch, and it is every year. We keep knocking it out of the park. I want to say a little bit with the girls wrestling and the girls basketball starting off their season like they are, man, that's pretty exciting to have two girl teams like that just really excelling. So congratulations to them. Anybody else? If not, we'll go to adjournment.
Motion. Second.
Ken, Jude. All in favor? I have 7:50. Thank you, everybody.